Leave luck to heaven. Those are the words that are roughly translated that mean Nintendo in Japanese. However, Nintendo has had very good luck recently. With the success of the Switch, it seems Nintendo are in all state, i.e. in good hands. But for years we've seen Nintendo as a company thrive on their success, as well as fall down as quickly as they went up. But one thing remains consistent is that Nintendo can be very unpredictable. So I bring your attention to the Wii U. Many credit the failure of the Wii U had to have happened in order for the Switch to succeed. But what exactly made the Wii U such a big failure? And did the failure of the Wii U cause the creation of the Switch? So in this episode of TimeWarp Over, we will go into the past and find out what exactly made the Wii U fail and the repercussions of the Wii U's downfall. So, the recent success of the Switch is an example of Nintendo's unpredictability. The company for years have innovated time and time again when it came to creating hardware and software. The Wii's success gave Nintendo mainstream praise, and stocks for the company was at an all-time high. You best believe Nintendo was living it. So then we get to the Wii U. Before I continue, let me remind you that I believe that there were 3 critical mistakes that Nintendo made that set up the Wii U to fail. Throughout the video, I will make emphasis on these 3 points because all of them contributed to the Wii U's downfall. So let's time travel to the year 2011, where things at Nintendo were a bit different and hairstyles I've experimented with still feel as regretful as they do today. So here we are, 2011. If you don't remember, in 2011, gaming itself was at a whole new place. The era of 360 and PS4 was coming to a close, and many articles were predicting the end of consoles, even with the already speculations of the next-gen hardware. But then there was Nintendo, the company coming off their most successful console, the Wii.
About Nintendo. Obviously, Wii 2, I'm super excited to see Wii 2.
Stop calling it that.
Why?
It's totally not going to be Wii 2.
What do you think they're going to call it? Project Cafe? That's the stupidest code name I've ever heard of.
It's going to have some...
Nintendo already had preparations of unveiling the new console. For those of you who don't remember, the Wii U was codenamed Project Cafe. And we've had leaks of the console to give us an idea of what it might look like. Second screen controller term was thrown around a lot, and it seemed like a pretty good idea. None of it was confirmed, at least not until E3. And here's where we get to our first mistake Nintendo made, and it was at E3 2011. Reggie Fils-Aimé was presenting at the time for the unveiling of the console.
Will probably still be right for all of us, but could it also be a perfect fit just for you? And the answer to that question is an emphatic absolutely. In fact, we're so convinced of it that we put that pronoun right in the name. So today, welcome to the world of Wii U.
When Nintendo announced that the Wii U would be the name of their new console, many fans and press were split on the name. This decision Nintendo made would ultimately come back to haunt them, as consumers would be confused on what the Wii U actually was. Press and fans at the press conference were confused as well. Was it an attachment to the Wii? A new console? A cutting board to make my pina colada? Nobody really knew. When it came to marketing, this was a hurdle that Nintendo never really solved, and it was a big part of the branding and the downfall of the Wii U console. And what was interesting was that at the same press conference, Nintendo would never once show the console itself, just the gamepad. And here's where we get to the second point, the inclusion of a gamepad. I understand they wanted to innovate again and do something that no one else was doing at the time, but by adding the gamepad came with its own problems. For one, it would bring the cost of the console up when it wasn't needed. Nintendo in theory would be able to package the Wii U console with a standard controller with a cheaper cost, or they could have kept the $300 price tag and have a more powerful console. Either of these options might have served them well. The gamepad itself felt outdated, especially in a time where iPhones and iPads had capacitive touchscreens, where the gamepad still used resistive. Now, we don't really know if Nintendo didn't include a gamepad, they would have had a more powerful console, since Nintendo's philosophy isn't about power. But because it did come with it, you could argue it sacrificed the power of the Wii U. So it seems like the inclusion of this gamepad created a snowball effect of problems for Nintendo. The inclusion of the gamepad sacrificed power for the Wii U. With a less powerful console caused third parties to shy away. Third parties shying away caused Nintendo to be in a situation they are in. Nintendo being in the situation they are in means boring bathroom breaks, and nobody wants that. Nintendo simply cannot sell a Nintendo console with Nintendo games only, and the Wii U proved that. Now, the last thing that caused the downfall of the Wii U was its marketing. No question about it. If there was ever a time you would scream hoopla, it's now. Because Wii U's marketing was done very poorly. Many people have said Nintendo never really invested a lot in advertising the Wii U on TV. And the commercials they did advertise had no clear message. Their slogan for the Wii U was how you will play next. They depended on a pun to advertise their console. They also made the mistake of showing the controller too much in the advertisements, once again displaying a confusing message on if this was a console or portable. The name didn't help either. If you see early interviews, Nintendo made it clear that they were dependent on the word of mouth to advertise Wii U. They basically used the same method my grandma uses to sell her fried dough, which by the way are selling out fast, give her a call. Nintendo's thinking here might have come from the Wii's marketing strategy. They failed to give a reason to consumers why they needed to pick up this product, and selling them a controller with a screen wasn't doing it. So at this point, Nintendo knew they were in deep waters with the Wii U. It was clear to them that the console was not selling the way they wanted it to. They had to abandon ship and leave behind the Wii U. So now we get to the creation of the Switch. The Switch's success doesn't seem like it came overnight. In fact, it seems like a lesson they learned from the Wii U. Now here's a question many wonder. Would the Switch exist if the Wii U didn't fail? I'm not sure. But one thing I believe is certain is that the Switch would not be as successful as it is right now if the Wii U did succeed. So if you lay out the 3 critical points that I made with the Wii U, you would see that Nintendo resolved each one of them with the Switch. The first critical point that I made was the naming of the console, Wii U. And Nintendo solved this issue by completely stepping away from the Wii branding. Nintendo no longer had an issue of consumers being confused what the product was. It was clear, concise, and overall simple. Also with the name Switch, you can tell what it was without even explaining it. Switch from TV to portable. They also solved the second point, which was the inclusion of the gamepad. They completely got rid of the gamepad and now have a standardized controller that comes with every console. In fact, these controllers not only serve a purpose, but they also are used so you can take the console on the go. And because of this, they resolved the pricing issue. It also created a snowball effect in a positive way. Because of no gamepad, they now have room to use the cost for power or for the Joy-Cons, and have a standard controller layout, attracting more third parties to get on board. More third parties on board means more consumers. And the third point I made was the marketing. And Nintendo did a complete 180 on the Switch's marketing. Their slogan is clear and precise. The marketing ads seem more modern and have a message now. So the Switch's success was clearly a lesson learned from the Wii U's failure. And I believe that the Wii U was a blueprint for the Switch's launch. Alright, so now we get to where we are today. And right now Nintendo's in a good position. We have yet to see if Nintendo can stay on the right track with the Switch. And with E3 coming up, all cards are on the table. And Nintendo better have their Luigi face on. And people are expecting a different Nintendo this time. If not, we might have to go back and analyze what went wrong with the Switch. And I hope that isn't the case. So Nintendo can either do a lot of things now. But one thing is clear, they cannot repeat the mistakes of the Wii U. I would advise Nintendo to get more third parties on board, because when they don't have the Nintendo exclusives, they have gaps between the year. And to fill in those gaps, they need third parties. Momentum is very important when selling a product. And they have a lot of it right now, so they need to continue that momentum throughout the year and throughout the whole lifespan of the Nintendo Switch. So that concludes our video for today. I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope that Super Mario Odyssey is one of the greatest games of all time. Bye.